What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over what you need to know about Fortnite's new Kpop Demon Hunters update. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, comment down below what you think of today's update and which new item you enjoy most. And if you guys would like to use my code in the shop when getting anything, it is EvolveJake, just like my channel name is, and it is underneath the webcam at all times. So for Kpop Demon Hunters, we got a very significant update. This update added 4 new items, several map changes, and changed some of the kind of mechanics we have in the season. I'm going to start off with the new items first. The first one we talk about is going to be a sword, and this is like a much worse version of the Typhoon Blade. Think if like the Typhoon Blade was balanced and just kind of mid, that's what this sword would be. So it has a regular melee attack like the Typhoon Blade did. It has a swipe charge attack, which you use by hitting left trigger on controller or right click on mouse and keyboard. And then it also has an improved sprint and an improved jump when you have it equipped. And this sounds exactly like the Typhoon Blade, right? But the improved sprint and jump you get with it feel way less effective than the Typhoon Blade did in Season 1. Running around with this, I didn't feel that speedy. And while I am a hater of the melee weapons, I'm not really a fan of having them in the game and playing like a big role in the game. I definitely would use the Typhoon Blade in Season 1 to like kind of travel around the map in some instances. It was definitely enjoyable to use in that regard. And I didn't really feel that way about this sword. The movement on it didn't really feel that great. It does have a swipe attack like the Typhoon Blade did, as I said. And this is what I disliked most about the Typhoon Blade. But the charge time for this kind of swipe attack felt pretty long. And the range and kind of AoE that it had also didn't feel as good as the Typhoon Blades did. And then the regular melee is there, but it didn't really seem to be much of a problem today. When playing against this item, I just eliminated them. Even with the regular Typhoon Blade, the regular melee was rarely the big deal. It was the swipe attack and how much range that had and how much area of effect that had and how quickly it could be done. So I think, as I said, this is a very balanced version of the Typhoon Blade. If you hated the Typhoon Blade, I think you're going to be pretty fine with this. And if you loved using the Typhoon Blade, I think you're probably not going to enjoy using this very much. As I said, it's kind of mid, which is how I personally would like it to be. The mask is the next item we're going to talk about, and this was my personal favorite item they added today. It functions pretty much exactly like the Void Mask did, where you throw a ball with your shoot button and then teleport to it with your aim down sight button. And so it's a teleportation mobility item. The way the charges work are a bit different though. With the Void Mask, you just had like 15 charges and then like a very small cooldown between. With this, you have 3 charges at max and then a 16-second cooldown for a charge to come back after it's used. But you could use all 3 in quick succession if you wanted to. Think of it like how the Shockwave Hammer is. You have 3 charges and then they kind of come back one at a time with a cooldown. That's how this works. A lot of people today I saw were unhappy that this mask now has a durability component to it, but this really isn't that different than how it was in Season 1. If you guys remember, it didn't have durability, but there was 15 charges per mask, and then once your charges were gone, the mask was gone. And so whether the item has durability or charges like that, it just means it has a limited number of uses, right? Whether they call it durability or it has like the number there, it's the same kind of mechanic. So I'm not really sure why people are so upset about the durability aspect, because the Void Mask in Season 1 already had a limited number of charges. The cooldown time being pretty long, I think, is a much more significant change, but this really only comes into play if you're trying to like rapidly use 3 charges or like you keep using one after another. So there are times where that longer cooldown could get you kind of griefed, but overall I think it's pretty much just as good as the Void Mask. The only problem is this season we have better mobility than we did in Season 1. I feel like the Shockwave Hammer is just a very good mobility item in Fortnite, and having that in the loot pool definitely changes things. So I think the mask is good, but I would probably prefer to still use the Shockwave Hammer and to use the Shockwave Grenades as of right now at least. So I'm happy the mask returned. It's a good mobility item. Definitely better than not getting mobility at all. And then the next item is going to be the Noodles. These are a healing item that heals for 50 white health or shield, filling your white health first, and then they drop in stacks of 2, and you can carry 3 in a slot. And this item actually heals incredibly fast. It's probably the fastest healing item in the game right now. So this is very, very good. It can be a limited amount of healing per slot, but the speed at which you heal is, like I said, it's very fast with this item. So these noodles, I think, are a very good healing item to have right now. And then the final item is going to be the golden shield bubble. This is a shield bubble you throw down, and then it's, you know, golden. It heals for 5 shield every like half second or so. So it does heal you for shield while you're inside of it. I'm not sure if it heals white health because I didn't get to use one when I needed white health, but it definitely does heal shield. So not the most exciting item, but an interesting item nonetheless, and can definitely be helpful in certain circumstances. And all of these Kpop Demon Hunter items you can find just from looting. It's not like you need to open a certain chest or a certain container. You just find them around the map. You can find them from chests. You can find them from floor loot. The gold drones seem to have a pretty good chance of giving them. And then also the flags that you can capture at different POIs seem to have a pretty good chance of giving them as well, which we'll get to in a moment. So those are the new Kpop Demon Hunter items. There's also many other changes in this update because the bugs, the queen bugs, the Megazord, and the OXR ranks and drops were all removed. So there's no more queens, there's no more bugs around the map, there's no more Megazord, no more ranking up your OXR rank. None of that, it's all gone. The Power Rangers pistol and bug plaster are still in the loot pool, but the bugs themselves and the Megazord are gone. And we'll get to some of the knock-on effects of that in a moment. But now we're going to get into the map changes, because the map was actually changed pretty significantly with this update. As far as mid-season updates go, I think this might be the biggest in terms of map changes. I'll have the map on screen now, but all of the bug areas were changed and repaired. So Dreamy Domain, Rangers Rest, Bug Swatter Beach, and Harmony Hills were all added as new POIs that were previously bug-occupied POIs that have all been now like repaired and improved. Some of these are like pretty similar to the layout that they had previously. Like Dreamy Domain has a very similar layout to what it previously did. There's just not as much of the bug stuff in the way, and there's now like purple trees growing around the area, but the layout of the POI itself is still similar, and a lot of these other bug areas are like that as well. They've been fixed up and improved, but they're kind of similar. If you were used to landing at that spot, you're probably still going to like it, aside from the Hive, which was changed like the most. Utopia City has also been fixed up, so it was previously Dystopia City and was all destroyed by the bugs. It's now fixed up, and then there's also many more like minor map changes around the map. Pretty much everywhere where the bugs were or what they destroyed has now been either fixed up or is in the process of being fixed up. So like the mid-map gas station got shifted to the side slightly, but it's still kind of there. Like I said, there's a lot of minor changes on the map with like pretty much everything the bugs touched being changed. One major change is that there's many more capture flags on the map. I believe every POI has one now, but I could be wrong. And these flags will actually capture much faster if you do an emote while capturing them. I believe they capture in about like 8 seconds if you're emoting when you do it, and regularly it was 30 seconds. So there's no OXR points to get for capturing the flag anymore, but you can do it pretty much instantly. And the loot you get from it is solid. And as I said earlier, it seems like you have a pretty good chance of getting the Kpop Demon Hunter items from capturing this flag. I don't know if it's 100% guaranteed, but I'm pretty sure every time I capture the flag, I got one of those items in addition to just some other extra loot, which is maybe helpful for you. And you don't really have to go super far out of your way or dedicate that much time at all to it, because 8 seconds goes by incredibly quick if you do capture it while emoting. Another major change in this update is going to be the weapon bunkers. Previously, you could open these once you reached A rank, but A rank is no longer a thing because the OXR ranks are completely gone. Now they just open up at second zone, and instead of exotics inside, they will have mythic weapons, and the mythic weapons you get are the ones that you previously got for killing the queen bug. So the mythic OXR rifle, the mythic wrecker revolver, and the mythic sweeper shotgun. When I was playing this morning, there is a bug where the mythic OXR rifle, when you went to the case when that was inside and tried to open it, it would just drop the revolver for some reason. So that was bugged. That will probably be fixed at some point in the future, and may even already be fixed as of the time you're watching this video. But if you go to play later and get the revolver instead of the rifle, I would consider that a good thing. So that's good. An interesting bug there. But that was one of the major changes a lot of people asked about today, was like, what's going on with the exotics? No more exotics. The bunkers open on their own in second zone. There's still only 2 random ones that open per game. And the mythics inside are completely random, as the exotics were. And all the other loot in there is still the same. So there's a bunch of chests in there. There's the OXR chests. There's the airstrike. All that's still the same. They're still in the bunkers. And then the Rift pod will still spawn in a 4th zone. So the regular OXR drops you get from ranking up, those are obviously gone as the OXR ranks are gone. But the Rift pod you can get in 4th zone will still come. And this actually is the only way to get legendary slurp juice now. So if you're later on in the game and you need heals, this is definitely something you're going to want to go for. There still are boons in the game that you can get from looting or you can get from the vending machines, but the OXR boons you got from your rank up pod are obviously gone because the ranks are gone and because the pods are gone. So those certain boons are gone, but the other ones that you would just randomly get from looting are still in the loot pool. But that is going to be it for this video. I think this update was very, very good. I know a lot of people are upset that it kind of changed the theme of the season, but like personally, I don't care about that stuff at all. Having a shakeup like this kind of this late in the season, especially one that was getting kind of stale like this when we're this late in the chapter, I think is a very good thing. And we still do have the actual Fortnitemares Halloween update, which will be coming next week and will likely bring even more changes to the game. So I think this final month of the chapter is actually going to be, somewhat fresh and somewhat exciting. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.